Welcome to the Gold Report, where we inspire you to be 10% more courageous in your daily life. I'm so glad that you're here. Please share and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Our guest today is Dr. Mary Talley Bowden. She is a courageous freedom fighter physician who has spoken out on the effectiveness of ivermectin in treating COVID and is currently leading a movement calling to have the COVID shots removed from the market. Dr. Bowden completed her residency at Stanford University, and she's board certified in both otolaryngology and sleep medicine. She specializes in sinus, sleep, and allergy disorders and treats both children and adults. She's a mother of 4 boys, and she has spent many years on the other side of the doctor-patient relationship. Her frustrations with the traditional medical system inspired her to open Breathe MD in August of 2019, with the goal being to simplify and improve patients' office visit experiences. Breathe MD is cash-only facility, and Dr. Bowden has opted out of all insurance plans. She resented insurance companies telling her how to best practice medicine. So she treats patients as she sees fit. Dr. Bowden is currently working to publish her findings from recent COVID-19 testing. She's on the advisory team of FLCCC and a member of AAPS. She recently founded the Coalition for Health Freedom, a grassroots effort to bridge 1,300 like-minded health organizations to take collective action. We're delighted to have Mary Talley Bowden with us today. Well, it's so great to finally meet you, Dr. Bowden. I'm delighted to have you on the show. And you have an amazing story. I know that you've probably told it many, many times, but I'm not sure that all of our audience is familiar with it. If you'd just like to bring the audience up to speed as to what has happened to you in the last couple of years.
Well, thanks for having me, Simone. And yeah, I'm a ear, nose, and throat doctor in Houston, Texas, a solo physician. I never imagined I'd be caught up in all of this. I started seeing COVID patients. I did not have a busy clinic, but we were doing a lot of testing initially because we had access to a saliva test. So people liked that because they didn't have to have the swab. So my little clinic exploded because of that. And then I would tell patients, go see your primary care doctor. And we know what happened next. They would come back to me and say, well, my primary care doctor won't see me. So that didn't sit well with me. So initially, I actually didn't know about ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and all the things you were doing. So I did, breathing treatments and antibiotics, steroids, and I had some success. And then monoclonal antibodies came about. Started using those. Those worked great. People would turn around the next day. The government started to take over distribution, and it became harder and harder to get those. So that's when I started looking into ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, started using those, saw that they worked just as well as the monoclonal antibodies. But so I'm in Houston, and Houston Methodist Hospital is the first hospital in the country to start the mandate. They started it 3 months before Biden did. And I had privileges there. I wasn't strongly affiliated with them. I'd actually never set foot in that hospital. I just had it as a backup, just in case I needed to admit somebody. But I had a lot of patients coming to me very distraught over the mandates. And I also, back then I was pretty cautious on social media. I said things like ivermectin works and vaccine mandates are wrong. Well, one day I went out and tweeted the same message 25 times in one day, and it said vaccine mandates are wrong. And then I put a patient testimonial. 5 days later, Methodists went after me in a very public fashion. They went to Twitter and announced that I was spreading dangerous misinformation. They went to the Houston Chronicle. I actually found out that my privileges were suspended from a text message from the Houston Chronicle. They went to the Washington Post. So they didn't do what's typically done. If there's a problem with one of the physicians, you would typically have a phone call or a meeting in private. You wouldn't go straight to the media. But they basically targeted me. They used me to show an example of, what's going to happen. This is what happens if you speak out, right? Because they were quite proud of being the first in the country to mandate the shots, and they did not like me speaking out against them. So,
you're listening to The Gold Report with Dr. Simone Gold. To watch this week's full episode of The Gold Report, please visit www.thegoldreport.com.